I was sitting around the other day and me and a friend of mine, we were sitting there talking about how do you grow your online presence. I said, well, for one, you got to pick a platform. Pick one. So we picked the one platform to try to grow our Instagram account. But instead of trying to grow it to 10,000 in so many days, we chose to try to grow it at a modest rate of in 30 days. Now, did we accomplish that? I did. He did. But we was really pushing the envelope in order for us to get to that point. So what do you do if you want to set a goal? Or how do you go about growing your Instagram account in 90 days to 1,000? See, the bet was if we couldn't do it, we would have to shave our heads. Now, I'm already close to being bald. I mean, he's somewhat bald, but we accomplished our smaller goal just in order for us to be at the point to where we can say, oh, we can do this. Now, what would happen if we did? You just said we was going to have to shave our heads, right? Because it was a bet that we had made. But let me tell you how we accomplished our goal. Because actually, we did this in 2 weeks. Tell you how we accomplished something. First thing we did is when we started this thing out, we had to figure out what was going to make our Instagram account grow, especially if nobody knows who the hell you are. So we had to figure this out. So the first thing we had to do was we had to perfect our profile. So perfecting our profile meant was we had to create an eye-catching bio and choose a compelling profile picture. I know you sitting there wondering what the hell is an eye-catching bio? Eye-catching bio is a bio that just makes you want to stop. Stop right in your tracks and figure out what the hell it is these folks talking about. So we did that. My bio was so broken down, it really broke down what it is and it defined who I was. So we made it short, we made it humorous, and then it was to the point where once we got the bio part down, we had to make sure that we had a picture. Now, most people think that just taking a picture and putting it up on Instagram is something that you're supposed to do. No. If you are a business person, you're either going to do one or two things. You're either going to have your profile picture or you're going to have a picture of your logo. Now, if you want people to really get involved in who you are, you have a picture of yourself because that's the start of showing that you are a real person and you're not a bot. So once we set that up, having the profile picture and the scroll stopping bio, now we had to make sure that our content strategy was perfect. Now, before we jumped into that, we had to make sure that the person or the potential clients or the potential followers knew exactly what it was. And what I mean by what it was is they needed to know who we was, what we did, and how fast we could get it done. So basically my bio told them who I was, what I could do for them, and why they should really listen to me, and then how fast I could get the problem that they're having solved, and then have something that could link them to somewhere. So once we did all of that, like we're going back and forth, like we're literally sitting in our office, in our studio. We're going back and forth with each other. And he's like, man, you think it's gonna work? Yeah, it's gonna work. Think it's cool? Yeah, it's cool. So once we get everything situated, I said, all right, now we gotta think about the content strategy. So we're putting this together because the reason why this works so well for us is because he's a brand ambassador, or should I say, he has a clothing brand. I have a podcast, and I'm starting another business, but I have a podcast. So the brand versus the podcast is two different niches, right? So we wanted to see how it was gonna work for both. So then we had to come up with the second section. The second section was the content strategy. So the content strategy was hook, engage, convert. We had to come up with and I like to use the hook story alpha analogy because, and that's from Russell Brunson. I like to use the hook story analogy because you gotta have a compelling hook. You gotta have a hook that draws them in. You gotta have something that makes them say, and then you want to give them the perfect story on why this thing can work for them as well as it worked for you. Now, here's where a lot of people get it twisted. They want you to follow that, but you have to understand your brand, your business is your business. Nobody can do your business the way that you do your business, okay? So by you not understanding that you can go to somebody and have them do all the work for you. And a lot of people don't know how to do things. So sometimes you have to sit back and take the time out to learn. But in order for you to take the time out to learn, you need to make time for your business. Nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody can tell you how your business should be. Nobody can tell you, like I was asking, and this is the reason why it's so perfect for me, because I was asking ChatGPT to come up with my brand colors. Now everybody knows I'm not a guy who likes to put on certain colors. I like to have colors that pop. I like to have bold colors that stand out. Most of my life I've worn green and blue, but then I'm starting to see that there's a lot of colors like pastel colors and reds and yellows and certain bright colors that make everything a little different and make everybody, it's eye-catching. So just like if you look at this right here in my Comfort Clothing, shout out to Comfort Clothing. Basically what it is I like the color green, but this is a different green than what I'm used to. I was wearing stuff like evergreen. This is army green or olive green. So you have to understand, nobody can tell you how you are or who you are. You have to be able to do everything that you need to do by yourself. So with your Instagram, with your account, you have to make sure that your hook is scroll stopping. And one of the main things is that really helps out is a how-to. How to gain 1,000 followers in 60 days or less. Start from scratch. The number one mistake that most Instagrammers make when creating their profile. Or this one is, I wish I had known this before I got started. See, those hooks will make people stop. And then if you have something that follows up with that hook and the title that helps them understand, okay, well, he's going to explain it. Maybe this resonates with what I need to look at. So by you having that hook, then you get into your story, you basically break down why you should have done this, how you should have done that. And then you got to have a clear call to action. So that call to action is follow us, leave a comment below, things like that. You got to be able to do that. So we wanted to make sure that both profiles were set up to be more engaging and converting towards the end. The hook, we'd already mastered that. But we wanted to make sure that we converted after we had engaged with everybody who we wanted to engage with. And so I think I reached, because we wanted to start off because we both work. So it was 530 plus days, and we accomplished that. I think I got to like 7 something. Just doing what I know how to do best. Got to 7 something, okay? So that was that. Now, you have to excuse the train. Some reason the train decides it wants to come through blowing its horn, and there's no cars on near the track, so excuse the train. Now, the third thing that you have to do in order to grow your following is you have to be consistent. And that's part of hacking the algorithm. Once you become consistent, the algorithm is built right now to follow smaller accounts. But here's what the algorithm does, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. You can't be on your platform when you let's use this for instance. Let's say you are a beat maker. You make beats for a living, okay? Now, the algorithm will want to see you as a human being. The algorithm will want to see you engage with potential buyers, like you're out and about. The algorithm still wants to see you either creating your music, promoting your music, whatever you're gonna do. But here's what the algorithm don't want to see. The algorithm don't want to see you on the couch smoking weed. The algorithm doesn't want to see you drinking. The algorithm doesn't want to see you talking about puppies. Your profile and the algorithm and your content depicts on how Instagram pushes you. Period, point blank. And that's every algorithm. You can't have a mix. That's why a lot of people don't grow. You have to focus on one thing. And I've talked about that in the 5 ones. You'll always hear me talk about the 5 ones. The 5 ones is you got one problem, one platform, one traffic source, one offer, and you're doing this for 1 year. You're solving one problem on one platform with one traffic source, with one offer for 1 year. There's no getting around it. Lock in on one thing only. Don't try to be doing 30, 40, 50 different things. One thing. I've seen profiles where you got a person who's an artist, and then they're over making music, and then they're cooking, and then they're doing this, and the algorithm's all over the place. So lock in, focus, get the algorithm, and then start letting people into your life, all right? Let people into your life, and that way you will see that it's easier for you to master the algorithm. So like with my IG account, Solopreneur Chronicles podcast, which is Solopreneur Chronicles PC, I'm uploading each episode or shorts for each episode. Now, I fell off about a week ago because at one point I was checking my analytics. I was up to 5,000 within that cycle. Then I kind of like stopped for a second. I wanted to see something. And then I got back up. And at the time of this recording, I was up to like 3,000. So I dropped down to 2,800 and now I'm back up to 3,000. And it's slowly growing. But it's all about making sure that I'm consistent with what I'm doing. Once you become consistent, the algorithm understands who you are. So a lot of people say, "No, you can do it with one video." Yeah, but just like with all other platforms, if you post regularly with Instagram, if you get 100 posts, 100 reels, or 100 stories, or 100 whatever, as long as you get to 100, they start really pushing your content, right? And some people say, "No, that's not true." Yes, it is. It's the same way with YouTube. It's the same way with Facebook. All right, now when you start posting more, that doesn't mean it's spam. All right, we're not spamming nobody. Post your content. Make sure your content is educational, or it's humorous, or it's entertaining, or don't be buy this, buy that, because you don't want to be salesy. You want to post. You want to get them engaged. You want people to comment. You want people to know exactly who you are, what it is you do, and why they should follow you. All right. Now, one of the most important things that you need to think about is this: collaborate. Collaborate with somebody. Collaborate. Basically, like, shout people out. Get them to respond to a post. Get them to engage with you. And once they start engaging, now you can start really engaging with your followers, because your followers are the ones that become your most loyal people. They are your most loyal customers. Remember, you want to attract, convert, and deliver. Period. That's what you want to do. You want to attract, convert, and deliver. All right, so you got to attract the people. You got to convert them to become loyal fans, and you got to deliver on what you are, what it is that your message is. With that being said, you have to be able to sit back and you have to be able to say, "Here we go. Let's do this. Let's make sure we do that." Post on one day educational, post 2 days motivate, another day motivational. The third day go live. I don't care. Listen, it don't make no difference. Here's what a lot of people feel: it doesn't make a difference who jumps on the live. Go live. Just go live. Come up with some questions. A lot of people, you don't have a following in the beginning, so what you need to do is resonate, or not resonate, get some responses from your friends. Okay, get responses from your friends. And once you get those responses from your friends, make out a list. On that list, you tell your friends, "Okay, this is what we're going to talk about. I need to ask you these questions. You give me your opinion." And then you make the live about that. Not while they there, because they might not have time to jump on the live, because when you jump on the live, you got people jumping on the live with you, right? So what you need to do is just go live and say, "Hey, I had these questions, and maybe this can help you out." Question number 1 is, how do you grow your Instagram account from 0 to 1,000 in 60 days? And so then you say, "Well, I was talking to a friend of mine, and this is exactly how she done it, or how he done it." And as you start to build, you will start to build the community. Once you start building the community, see, your first 2 weeks is going to be about you engaging. Actually, your first 3 weeks is about engaging. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you don't have to post that much." Man, once a day is great. But that slow growth, twice a day, is moderate. And you post 3 to 5 times a day, every day. And so that's where it comes, when batch content creation comes in at. If you start posting you get 3 to 5 videos a day. And we're going to talk about some bonus too, because I hadn't even wanted to discuss this, but we're going to talk about some bonus things that I've done to help me get to that point. Once you start batch content creation, then you become way, way more dependent of, "Oh yeah, I don't have to really do all of this." So you have to leverage, and I just did a podcast that's dropping this upcoming Monday. Leveraging AI tools to help you grow your account is even better than you think. So I use Opus Clip, and this is a tip, this is a bonus pro tip. I use Opus Clip. All right. And by me using Opus Clip, what I've learned is I make one video. So my podcast has been shot, it's been edited, it's set to release. Okay. Once it releases that following Monday, so I got videos already from the week before, 2 weeks before, that are popping out every 3 to 4 hours a day. So by the time Monday hits and that video hits at 6 a.m., by 7, I've already gone in, added it to another clip to be clipped up. And then I just start scheduling out those posts for the week. So by the time I get to Friday, I'm already ready to be recording more videos and repurposing content. All right. You're going to repurpose content without shooting a ton of videos. You might have posts that you want to do. You can take and design your posts, your videos, your reels, and everything is going to happen. But what you need to do is you need to think about this. You need to really think about making some posts, making some Instagram stories, especially if you use Instagram, because that's what we're going to talk about. Instagram, you can grow quick, man. You can really grow quick. But once you start building the community, you get 1 or 2 people in, and you make sure hey, let your friends know this is what we're doing. And your community starts building, and once your community starts building, those first couple of people, then you say, "Hey, look, we got something for you. I'm not going to charge you for this. I want you to, you get about 10, 12 people. I need y'all to beta test this for me. Tell me what you think. And once you get all of that done, now you've gotten to the point where those 2 people who, after so many weeks, after when week 4 starts hitting, once week 4 starts hitting, then guess what? They become your advocates. So they start pushing your content to other people. So now you've gone from 2 to 20. That 20, the next week, you might get 20 more because what you're asking, hey man, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend. Let's build something together. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 500. So getting to that 1,000 in 90 days can be done. Now, real quick, let me tell you this. Here's how you also do this. So let me pull this book out for you so I can show you, because this is very important. This is probably one of the most important aspects of content creation. So I come across this guy named Ryan Stroman, right? Ryan Stroman is a social media millionaire. Can you see that? Ryan Stroman. Shout out to Ryan Stroman. So in a section that Ryan Stroman was talking about, towards the end, he basically breaks down to you how you should be approaching the engagement portion of your content. What Ryan Stroman talks about is, it's called the, I had to look for it real quick. It's called the Lucky 7 method. All right. So what you do is, and let me read you because this is the last insert, and this is so important. All right. Ryan urges you to use the Lucky 7 method. Before you get started, to be strategic with the people you're engaging with. There are 3 steps to the Lucky 7 method that you need to know. Number 1 is, first, write on somebody else's wall. Basically, comment on, go and find somebody. All right, so let's say you go and follow 10 people. All right, so let's say you follow 5 people at 7 in the morning, 5 people at 12 in the afternoon, 5 people at 7 at night. All right, you got 15 people. Let's say you do that for the first week. All right, so your first week, and this is each day. So you got 5, 10, 15, that's 30, that's 60, that's 90. All right, 7 days. Yeah, 7 days. No, it's about 100 people. So you already start following. And they might follow you back, but it's somewhere around about 90 to 100. So what you really need to do is you need to go in there. So once you start following these people, go into one of the main influencers' accounts and start the Lucky 7 method. Find somebody in his account, in his comments or her comments, his or her comment section. And what you want to do is you want to go in, you want to see what the comment was that they just made. All right. Reply to that comment, not with an emoji, not with emojis. Apply with a serious response to the comment. All right. Now, the second thing is send a direct message to them. And the third, you're doing that for 7 days a week. Leave a comment on somebody else's post. That's what you do. You go in, you comment. The first 5 people that you follow, or the first 5 people you follow, go back in there and say you follow them at 6 in the morning. You got time around about 8, right before you start following anybody else. Go look at their posts. Then you comment on their post. But then you see who commented on the post and see if something that resonates with you. And once you figure out that it resonates with you, then you go back in. And once you go back in, you comment on that person's post. Then you direct message them, and then you follow them. You've already started engaging. The algorithm picks up on that. Once the algorithm picks up on that, you become the person that they see, oh, well, wait a minute. If Dan Henry was talking about a no-funnel way to sell a digital product, and Tony Porter comes in and he makes a comment backing up Dan Henry's thesis or his ethics, I'm gonna follow him because I don't have the money to follow Dan Henry. But Tony Porter is an influencer, and now you see where I'm going with this. All right, you do that 3 times a day, 7 days a week, and yo, Brian Stroman, man, I'm listening. I've read this book twice already, but I'm going back and I want to implement everything that he talks about. Okay, so I'm gonna break this book down one day, but shout out to Ryan Stroman. Really enjoyed reading his book. All right, so now let's get up out of here. So think about this. A strong call to action. Follow us on all our streaming platforms. That's what I use. So mine was, follow us on all our streaming platforms. Since we the podcast, we're on Apple Music, Spotify, and on YouTube. And for more growth hacks, check out the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast.com. Then you thank them and you tell them you see them in the next video. So guess what, man? Thank y'all for stopping by today. Do me a favor, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Apple Music, follow us on Spotify, follow us on all your streaming platforms. Now, by you following us, this helps you, me, and every other solopreneur find the information that they need to find in order for them to grow. And in order for that to happen, I need you to do me another favor. I need you to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. And then we could all be friends. Building this community, let's build this community together. Let's grow from 0 to 1,000 in less than 90 days. All right. Man, it's your man Tony over here at the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all, man. See you in the next video. Peace.